Hello, it's me again, and yes, I'm back to tell you about Miss Lady again. Miss Lady said that she wanted to piggyback on the Hannah moment in their relationship with that spouse. She said in that Hannah moment with that relationship with that spouse, she said when it came time to break up, to get the divorce, to separate, she said, I want to remind you of something now. She said the whole time that he lived with her, he never paid any bills. He never offered to pay any bills. She said, but as it was approaching time to separate, he wanted to know if he could stay and that he would help her pay bills. She couldn't believe it. Now that it's time to go, now that you've watched me struggle, now that you've watched my mother and my family help pay bills to keep us afloat, now that I've had to file bankruptcy and give up my car and only keep my house and have to catch public transportation from a place where public transportation only runs every so often. Because, see, we wasn't living in the city. Now you want to help me? She said she couldn't believe it. She said he kept playing around, thinking that, oh, okay, she gonna change her mind. She said, but in order to make sure that she did what she needed to do to get away from that man, she had to stop sleeping with that man. She said because that was also another way of being able to be controlled. So she had to stop sleeping with that man. Yeah. She said, and in the process of that, she made arrangements at her job to be off for 4 days because she realized that that man wasn't packing. She realized that that man had no intention on moving out when he was supposed to move out. So she said, you know what she did? She went to the moving company and she got a U-Haul truck and made arrangements to move everything on a certain day. She said, and in the process of getting that U-Haul truck, she also went and got him the biggest storage that you could get. She said, and at that time they was running a deal on the storage. So she said, you know what she did? She took and she paid the storage bill because she wanted to make sure that no matter what, he had somewhere to put his things, that he wasn't going to have to ask her, could he put his things there, that it wasn't going to be no more connection once the connection had been broken. And so at that point, she got up on an early Thursday morning, she said, and she told him, she said, call your kids, and I'm going to get my kids. She said, and by the way, let me tell you about his kids. She said his kids had decided that they were going to jump on her. Yeah, it just didn't turn out that way. Because in the process of that, the police were called to remove the children away from the house. See, it was a lot going on. They're going to jump you for a place that you provided for them to be able to sleep and eat and drink and lay up. That's how people treat you. She said, I also want to let you know something else that the man told her. He told her this early on, but she never paid any attention to it because she didn't know. She did not know her value. She did not know her worth. That man told her flat out, you don't know what you got. You don't know your value. She said she heard him, but she didn't hear him. The man told her that. Sometimes, if you listen, people will tell you how they really feel about you if you just listen. But sometimes trauma can keep you from even being able to hear. She said, but she made sure that they packed up all his things and they took it to the storage place. And after that, she had to recover. Because, see, she had to do a Job moment. She had to lose a lot of things because she was holding on to that man. Because she loved that man more than she loved herself. She loved that man so much that every time she got paid, her dad, her stepfather, he got paid at the same time too. And every time he got paid, she was always calling to borrow money because she had given him money to have in his pocket so he could go hang out and have a good time and look good. Filled up his gas tank so he could ride around. Yeah, she said, I did a lot of things while I was in my trauma mode and when I didn't know any better. I didn't treat myself right at all, and it allowed other people to be able to treat me a certain way too because they knew I didn't know better. She said, I remember a time when it was his birthday. She said, and on his birthday, she didn't have no money. And he asked her flat out, he said, you ain't got no money for me? And it's my birthday? She said she told him no, she didn't have no money. She said that man made her feel like shit because she didn't have no money to give him for his birthday. She had already been giving him. She had already been doing him. When people know that you don't know, they will take and take and take and take and take until there's no more to take. She says she learned a lot of lessons from that. She had to pick herself up. She had to piece herself back together. She says she never will forget a conversation that her mother had with her concerning that. She said her own mother told her, I used to cry myself to sleep at night, wondering what did that man have over you, that you was letting him treat you like that. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Her mother was in pain because she saw a child was in pain, and her child didn't know any better. Her adult child didn't know any better. Her adult child didn't know her own worth. The thing about this is, people tell you to love yourself, but before they tell you to love yourself, they always tell you about loving somebody else. And when things start to go haywire, they point the finger back at you and say, you don't love yourself. We've always been taught to love other people instead of being told, love yourself first, and then you can love somebody else. It took a long time. It took a lot of trial and a lot of tribulations to learn that. But she said, I've learned that. She said, I'm still taking certain little steps right now. I'm still walking in it. I'm still figuring my way out about it. She said, but I learned it. I did learn that I got value, that I got worth, that I am somebody, and that I do bring something to the table of my own. She said, I'm the table. I'm the table. And I know that I'm the table now. Whatever I didn't know before, that's fine. I know I'm the table now. She said, I know a lot of people are going to be wondering about this story and me telling you about these stories. She said, but let's be clear. Let's do this thing called a disclaimer. Just because you hear my story, just because you're hearing my story, just because you're hearing how I may have treated myself before, let's be clear. Don't get it twisted. Don't run up on me. Don't come for me. Don't decide that you can talk to me and treat me any kind of way because the person that I'm telling you about, she's not there anymore. She's grown. You know how they have that saying about when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I did as a child? Well, when I didn't know any better, she said, and I thought I couldn't do any better, she said, and when I didn't know that I was the value, that I had worth, I allowed a lot of things. She said, but enough is enough. She said, I got power. I got a lot of power. And I took my power back. She said, and in me having that power, she said, I may not be a Beyonce who has a beehive. She said, but I'm Miss Lady. And Miss Lady got a hive. Yeah, Miss Lady got her own beehive. So if I was you, I wouldn't come for her. I wouldn't come for her at all. And with that being said, I want you to have a great day. I want you to know that no matter what, God is in the midst of this. That no matter what, God is in control. He's in control of this whole situation. God is the reason for this. Thank you, and have a great day.